Hello everyone, this is Professor Chisholm and this is week 4. I'm going to make a separate video to look over the responsive demo again because some of you, I'm sorry, but I have 4 browsers on my computer. I'm working on a Windows-based computer at present. I usually have a Mac also, but when I view my project on all the browsers, I have 2 columns. This is Firefox, this is Edge, this is Opera, and this is Chrome. And you notice that I have 2 columns on all of them. Now, for yours, many of you, the 2 columns didn't show up in Firefox, so I'm not really sure. So I'll do a video that will go step by step with what I did and show you what I did so you guys can look at your projects and see how they differ, okay? So the bottom line is, guys, I need to see that these things look correctly in as many browsers. Yes, there are some issues, but I just showed you that the responsive should work in all your browsers. So we got to get down to the bottom of that and figure out why it's not, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and look at what's needed for this week. This week, we are taking a magazine, Monster Children, issue 55. You're going to do a single-page HTML document using CSS grids for the layout. Okay, so CSS grids. What are CSS grids? Again, chapter 16 of, if you have that prior book, it's in chapter 16. It's with the Flexbox, but Flexbox gives us just so much flexibility. It just really gives us the ability it's rather rigid in comparison to what the CSS grid can do for us. So with the CSS grid, we're going to have a lot more flexibility to be able to really place things where we want it on the page. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this layout, and this is the layout. And yes, you're going to justify the text, and you're going to have to, there's a couple of elements here that you're going to have to create in Photoshop or Illustrator. Okay, so pay attention to where the red text is. It's going to be labeled on the copy text here. So this will be justified. There will be text that will be read, and then you will have to have these different elements. And I'll show you a version of this in a minute. Okay, so this is what the magazine spread is, and you're going to move it to a website. And here is your copy text. The pink highlighted or red highlight shows you which type has to be read. There's your copy text. This is on your front page, and that is that's the text that's justified, and then you will have, this is the text that goes on the second page right here. And all the hexadecimal codes are written out for you guys as well, so that you have it, and the title is lowercase, and your body, this top copy, is justified, okay? All right, now, there is a third link in the assignment, and that is to a Dropbox where all the images are. Okay, so I've verified everything is working perfectly. You can resize them, crop them, and adjust the contrast, but you cannot change the gradient map. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at what this project looks like to give you a sneak peek on it. And that way you can take a look at this and see what it's going to look like, and that you get a peek at it. So here we go. Text is justified as we scroll down. And there's the extra little images there, okay? Again, so text is justified. Now, a hint for this, with this CSS grid, you can nest, and that's what gives us even more flexibility, is because of the nesting capability, okay? So this is a grid within a grid. Think about that, okay? So here is so a grid within a grid. That's the only hint I'm going to give, but there you go. That's what this project's going to look like, okay? All right, guys, have fun. Try to have fun. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and look at the, let me slide this across again, and let me back into the class. There's some great, also go to YouTube, Layout Land. You should have this bookmarked. These are great videos in here that will help you. But basics of CSS grids. So there are links in here to help you with the CSS grids. take a look at it, look through them. They're going to help you with this project as well. Okay. All right. So let's look at the Flex Grid. So the Flex Grid, where is my Flex Grid? Okay. So this is what we were supposed to end up with. Some of you had some, different outcomes. I haven't graded everything yet, but we'll take a look at this, and then I will hopefully get to grading probably by tomorrow, I would think. But here is the CSS for it. Now, let me go ahead and open up the HTML so that you can also see how I set that up. I've got too many. This will take me where I want to go. I do use brackets. I think I said that before. It doesn't matter. Visual Studio, VS works fine too. So the way I approached it is each section. So we have a section. So everything has a section on the HTML, and it's then just sort of repetitive. So it's a lot of copy and pasting after that, and just changing numbers. Okay. So section. So each one is then container 1, giving a class of container 2, container 3. The only thing that really changes is the box number. So when I give the div and I do my boxes, that's all I'm doing is I'm counting up, but I have 6 containers, and then I count upwards from 1 to 18 for my boxes. Okay, so that's that. Now, if we look at the style, I did a global setting for the margin. Okay, global setting for section margin. Now, some of you, I saw that you had boxes around there were boxes, and that's probably because I put my the other part of the assignment. So that was part. You had to have you had to have that margin, but the other part was the border. And I think some of you had a problem with the border. If you did it may be because if you did a global, and I don't know yet because I've got to look at it. If you do a global, then it puts a box around the whole section instead of individual. So each of my containers. So this is the first, so you can see I labeled it, right? Container 1. And so we have align items flex start, right? And where is that website? So we can have it next door to us. Okay, so there's the flex start is what we did for this one. This one is, then we move down, and the one that people had problems with was 4. It's justify content space in between. And remember, you can change sizes by the flex, right? So this will change our size. So the third one, it said that we reversed the third one had to be larger, so all I did was change the size so that would change it. So let's take a look at that. That's Google. Okay, so to see how box 3, all I did was change it right there, change it there. For the fourth one, space in between. Okay, fifth one, we're just doing flex direction, column. Sixth one is column reverse. So that's why 5 and 6 are going to sort of look the same. It's just that we're just controlling it a little bit differently. Flex direction column, and then this is column reverse. So flex direction for both of them, it's just that one is column and one is column reverse. Okay. And that pretty much sums it up. Okay, so let's just make sure, scroll through this slowly so that you can see it. So there's section 1. Let's see, where's 1? Okay, so this is all for 1. There's number 2. Number 3. Number 4. And really it's that space between. number 5, and number 6. Okay. All right, guys, that pretty much is it. And I'm going to do a separate video because for some reason I can only do, I think, 15-minute videos. So I can't add that other one here, but we'll take a look at the other one as well. And I will walk through that responsive one, and let's figure out what's going on with all of your projects. Please give me your, it's easier if I have your CSS, if you send me your files, because then it's a lot easier for me to actually try and then do the troubleshooting to figure out what's going on with them. So I know it says to just do a URL, but if you want any help from me, I need to actually have the actual files. Okay. All right, guys, have a productive week. Do the best you can. Communication is key here, guys. Times are stressful for all of us. So please, just do the best you can. And just reach out to me if you're having any issues. Just reach out. All right. Now, again, assignments are due on Friday. Responses are due by Sunday. All right. Have a productive week, guys. Do great things.